Saltiest Gaming again. Last time I made a video about Saltiest Gaming was, I believe, 2 videos ago, when he claimed in all of his brilliance that Game Pass and Xbox were brainwashing people into believing that, you know, Game Pass wasn't actually good service. Whatever, it was dumb. This time he has made a video called PlayStation 5 versus Xbox Series X will be no contest in 2023. Can you guess who he thinks might win? Like, the year began like 2 weeks ago. It's been 2 weeks and he's already claiming that Xbox is gonna have a terrible 2023 and is gonna be completely dominated by PlayStation. It's insane. This is some truly pathetic fanboy shit. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into the video.
What's up, Salt Nation? Welcome to 2023. It's been a year since I made a video. Sorry, that's a bad dad joke, you know.
Just quickly want to remind everyone that acknowledging that your joke is unfunny does not make it funny.
I had to get one of those in for the new year. But regardless of that, I hope you guys are doing fantastic wherever you are around the world. If it's your first time here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can stay up to date with all things PlayStation and PlayStation 5. Post videos weekly, and we do the Saltiest Gaming podcast every Thursday at 8 p.m. So back to the L's. PlayStation's been handing Xbox L's for the better part of 10 years. Yeah, it's unbelievable, but the PlayStation 4 is going to be turning 10 years old.
I like how he frames it as like they've only been handing out L's, even though recently they've definitely been taking more L's than giving them out, you know, like how they've been crying to the FTC about how Xbox is gonna be too big and become a monopoly while they themselves are a monopoly, and then they go on to proudly state that they don't even see Game Pass as competition. Like, how the fuck are you gonna say, oh, they're gonna destroy competition, and then say, oh, but they're not competition of us though, because we're too big to fail? It's fucking weird. Or all the times that they've just raised the price of video games and consoles for no fucking reason whatsoever, and those are all just big W's.
Hey, 2023, the next-gen consoles have been around for a couple of years, and it boggles the mind how much quality games PlayStation has put out there in the beginning of this console generation. We've had the likes of Demon's Souls Remake, Miles Morales, Returnal, God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West. The list goes on and on and on.
Amazing exclusives put out by PlayStation starts the list with a third-party game, which is kind of funny to me. He also says that the list goes on and on, but besides the games he listed, I literally can't think of a single other game that was put out exclusively for PlayStation that was made by PlayStation. I can think of other third-party exclusives like Stray, but besides that, still a lot more than Xbox had though.
The Xbox side, you got Halo Infinite and another Forza. It's like always Halo, Gears, and Forza, no matter how much money they spend. They bought Bethesda. They're trying to buy Activision, but it always seems like they're lacking the most important thing, which is the games. It is insane they're able to launch a next-gen console with no games, and in 2022, they had no games again with their first-party output.
I mean, he's not wrong. Xbox really didn't put out shit this year. I mean, it's incorrect to say that they didn't put out anything. They put out Pendament and they put out the Cuphead DLC, which was really good. But, you know, they didn't put out any, like, AAA games or anything big.
So it's not surprising to me in the least that we're having multiple articles. The first one that we're going to be looking at here is PlayStation 5 is poised to have a bigger 2023 than the Xbox despite Starfield. This is put out there by Paul Tassi on Forbes.
Oh, an article from Forbes said so. Then it must be true. He does this throughout the entire video, where he'll just randomly reference an article, read the title, and then ignore the rest of the article. He doesn't talk about what's in the article, or like who wrote it, if the sources are valid. No, he just says like, Forbes wrote an article that says that PlayStation 5 will dominate Xbox in 2023, and I agree. Moving on. That's literally, it's so fucking dumb. And then he goes off to just list his own reasons why he thinks that it is true. Like, why even bring up the article then? Why you think it'll give you like some credit if you are vaguely backed up by a Forbes article? You think, you know, you do realize that nobody gives a shit about gaming journalists' opinions, right? Like, they're not valid at all.
You guys been hiding under a rock. PlayStation is putting out a crazy lineup of Spiderman 2. They got Final Fantasy 16 on deck. They got Forspoken.
Motherfucker mentioned Forspoken like it's a game people are massively excited for. Like, since it's been properly revealed, all I've seen is people making fun of it.
And for the Xbox side, you got that game by Arcane called Redfall, which is a vampire game. And the biggest game for them in 2023 is Starfield. Now, you can say what you want about it, but it's going to be one of the bigger games, if not the biggest game launched on the Xbox. I've said this numerous times that Starfield does nothing for me. I'm actually a fan of the Fallout series, and Elder Scrolls is actually pretty fun as well. But when Xbox revealed Starfield for the first time and then put another video out, which I have playing in the background, it does not look impressive at all. In fact, it looks like a No Man's Sky clone.
Oh my god, this shit again. Guys, it's definitely a clone of No Man's Sky, because in No Man's Sky you mine shit with a laser, and in Starfield you mine shit with a laser. Definitely the same game. Like, I'm not saying that Starfield didn't borrow things or gameplay mechanics from No Man's Sky. Obviously, there's the exploration of procedurally generated planets, the mining, the base building. But there's also the whole RPG side of the game with, like, the cities and the settlements and, like, pre-written quest lines and that kind of shit. That's completely different from anything in No Man's Sky. So it's quite disingenuous to say they're the same game, or that one is a clone of the other, just because they share some gameplay elements.
Graphics aren't that good, the animations suck.
What do you mean the animations suck? I get the whole, like, the graphics suck thing, you know, I can see that the graphics aren't that good. Personally, don't give a fuck. I don't care about graphics, but if someone does really care, I can understand why they might not play this game. But the animations suck? What do you mean by that? Because the animations, to me, look like the animations of literally every single other FPS game. It really seems like he was just going, how can I shit on this game? I'll just say the animations suck and then not give any reason as to why.
If you look at the actual gameplay of the shooting, it looks garbage. And I know every year it's the same thing for the Xbox fans out there. 2023 is our year. They said it in 2022, but everything was shuffled out and they didn't even have any games. So of course, 2023 is supposed to be that year for Xbox, but just like Paul Tassi and others are stating, the lineup of Forza Motorsport, Redfall, and Starfield are just not enough to compete with the PlayStation heavies like Forspoken, Final Fantasy 16, and Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
What? Okay, so first of all, there are more games coming out than just those three for Xbox. Okay, Stalker 2, for example, is another game that's coming out for Xbox this year. Second of all, how the fuck are you gonna compare those PlayStation games to the Xbox? Yeah, sure, Spider-Man 2 is probably gonna be huge. Is it gonna be bigger than Starfield? I don't know, I can't say. You know, but those other two games, first of all, they're not made by PlayStation. They're made, I believe, both made by Square. And I can't see Forspoken being incredibly big. I think Forspoken is probably gonna be like Horizon Forbidden West, where it's gonna come out, be completely overshadowed by another game, and then nobody will talk about it for the rest of the year. I am convinced that is what's gonna happen to that game. And I also kind of just hate how he brushes the Xbox games off. Like, oh, they're not gonna be as big as the PlayStation games. Like, yeah, Spider-Man 2, like I said, is gonna be big. Final Fantasy 16, probably also gonna be pretty big. But so will Starfield. Like, yeah, it's a new IP, so it won't have a huge audience already interested in it, like with Fallout, for example. But it's still gonna be an extremely big year, especially if it turns out to be good. And Forza, I know PlayStation fans like to make fun of Forza a lot because they say it's the only game that Xbox has besides Halo. But there's a reason why they keep making more Forza, because it sells incredibly well.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is going to sell like hotcakes, and it's going to go neck and neck with Nintendo's huge game release, which is the new Zelda game.
No, it's not. Like, yeah, Spider-Man 2 is going to be a big game. But Breath of the Wild 2, you know, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, is going to be the biggest game next year. I am willing to bet that right now it's going to be the game that people are going to be talking about the most, it's going to have the most hype, and it's going to sell the most.
Now, when it comes to Starfield, it is kind of a media darling out there because you have Todd Howard, Mr. Leather Jacket, lie to the masses. Todd Howard fits in perfectly in Microsoft with all those lies he put out there with Fallout 76, and I don't need to go into it, but we know how that turned out. But for some reason, the media loves to pick their favorites, and then one of those happens to be Todd Howard and the Fallout series / Elder Scrolls. And if there's bugs there, oh, that's just a charming Bethesda bug, right? Bethesda. So even
Bethesda has been heavily criticized for their bugs, especially after Fallout 76. I know there are some retards out there who do say shit, like, oh, it's just Bethesda charm, but I don't think anybody will tolerate a game with a lot of bugs, especially after Fallout 76. Now, when it comes to the whole jab of, oh yeah, he lies a lot, so it'll fit in perfectly with Xbox, I don't know what that means, because I can't remember last time Xbox or like Phil Spencer or whatever lied a lot, especially compared to PlayStation, where Jim Ryan literally gained the nickname Lying Jim Ryan, which was given to him by the PlayStation fanbase, not by like the Xbox or whatever. The PlayStation fanbase named the head of PlayStation Lying Jim Ryan because he constantly lies about everything. The only lie on like Phil Spencer or Xbox's part that I can think of that was anytime like recently is that they said they were gonna try to get more exclusives on Xbox, and that's not really happened yet, but I'm not sure if that counts as a lie.
If this game comes out and it's mid, I think it's going to get a boost, but it's not going to be enough for just that lineup that I mentioned for PlayStation. And they're going to be announcing things that we didn't even know about. They're going to be having a showcase, multiple PlayStation State of Plays. There's stuff that we just simply don't know about that's going to release this year. So yeah, I think PlayStation is going to dominate 2023.
I'm sorry, would you mind repeating that? Did he literally actually just say that, oh, well, we don't know everything that's coming out this year yet, and they're gonna have a showcase, and we'll probably see a lot more games that are gonna come out this year? Xbox can do the same thing. I can also say like, oh yeah, no, Xbox is gonna release a lot of games this year that we just don't know about yet, so I win the argument. That's not how that works, my guy. Like, Xbox has a showcase at the end of this month, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what they're gonna show there. They could be announcing there that they like got 300 different exclusives planned to release every single day of this year. Fuck it, right? Like, I can say that, and now I win the argument, because apparently that's how this works.
Now, in terms of what console has been the better console to date, there's another article that came out, and this is by Insider Reviews with Business Insider. And plain and simply, they said that the PlayStation versus Xbox Series X, after 2 years of testing both, it's clear that the PlayStation 5 is a better buy for most gamers. Now, you're probably saying to yourself, Business Insider, no shit, the PlayStation 5 is a better buy, because it actually has the most important thing to gamers, which is the games.
If you really cared about like a lot of games and a lot of exclusives, PC, I mean, we get Xbox games, we get PlayStation games, you know, we get our own games. We don't have to throw away our entire library every time, you know, a new generation shift happens. None of that. Anyway, boys, I'm probably gonna end the video here. The rest of his video is just him talking about like some speculated fucking PlayStation game that might or might not have been leaked. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. So yeah, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.